Some of you have commented on my videos and want to show a little bit more about my process when I'm using hardware gear inside my DAW, making my electronic tracks and all of that. I want sort of this video to be maybe one of the first videos where I do that. I'm trying a setup here. I have a camera here. I have you behind watching through my camera here. I have a screen record going. I hope everything works. We're going to take a little look at a patch I made on the Subsequent 37. We're going to take a look at the OB6. Then we are going to take a look at the Elysia Xmax and what settings I use to sort of make the final finish on this track. So usually on the Moog, we would think that you would make some sort of low-end type of stuff, bass, maybe low drones, pads and things like that. I really love the sound from it, and I do use it for that in a lot of other tracks. But in this particular case, I wanted to try to make some plucky type of sound, just using some simple waveforms here, plucky filter settings in combination with the amount of envelope you give it, the filter of course, and all of that, and just automating some of the multi-drive and cutoff and stuff like that. So this is sort of the basic pluck I came up with. This is the basic sound from the synth without any effects. So depending on how strong I want the sound, I just up the multi-drive. I know you get some more distortion from it, but in this particular patch, almost using it like a volume control, you could say. Nothing beats raw sound from the Moog, but I have some effects as well. So I'm using Echo Boy and I'm using Black Hole to just give it, you know, that trancy type of sound. So that's one track in the in the track, and with everything it sort of sounds like this in the intro. So that's the Moog in the intro, and then I also use it for some melodic parts, like over here in the, for example, the build-up. It's the same sort of plucked sound. I can show you how the notes looks like. So it looks like this. So I try to not have notes playing at the same time. Because of the paraphony of the synthesizer, it would work with two notes at the same time, but probably me not doing something correctly. I don't claim to be expert on this, I just show you what I do here. So here's sort of the melody. So you see I have some low end notes going over here, and in the build up here I have, yeah, as you can see on the EQ, I don't shave off a lot of the low end. It works fine with some side chaining and stuff like that. So that was the Moog part of this track. I think it fits pretty good. I really like the sound. I can probably make the sound with another synthesizer like Diva or the Legend or something like that, but there's just something with the sound from the Subsequent 37 that I have a little problem trying to recreate that in Diva or the Legend. I actually have someone I know that is pretty good at that, so I might ask him how he do it. But then we can take a look at the OB6. It's also playing sort of a simple part in this track. I'm trying to keep things a little simpler nowadays. Yeah, let's take a look at that. So on the OB6 I'm running a sort of melodic pad. Also, this is also just a basic patch with a little bit of detune here. Yeah, just some filter automation when I am exporting the track. I also using Diva to add just some sub to the OB6, and that might sound a little bit strange, but I didn't actually like sub that came with the OB6 in this particular patch. I do like it, but in this particular patch I just wanted to add some just very easy low sub from Diva, so it's actually Diva and the OB6 here. So we can take a listen to that. The filter on this is insane. It just sounds so good. I didn't use much detune. Yeah, and with everything. When I use the OB6 and Moog in the same kind of track, it's really important to try to mix them together, because they take up a lot of the sound space, both of these synthesizers. So you can't really have both of them playing in the low end if you don't control it that good. Almost overtake each other if you are not careful about that. I really like the OB6. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that in other tracks as well. Of course, the subsequent 37, I think they complement each other really good, and these are sort of my I have said it before, but synthesizers I am going to keep for a long time. If you have followed me for a while, you know that I actually rebought the subsequent 37 as well. There's that. And I mean, everything else in this track is just basic stuff like drum loops and stuff like that. And I do use some clipping on them just to try to get the sound where it should be. Yeah, I think we can go over to the final stage here now, where I am also using the Elysia Xmax to do some final polish on the track. So we can first listen to a section of the track with the Xmax turned off, see how that sounds. And then we can turn it on. So if you haven't seen anything about the Elysia Xmax, this is my first outboard gear I bought. Effect processor you mostly maybe want to use on the master chain, but you can of course use it on, for example, a drum bus or synth bus or something like that. It's a multiband compressor and shelf EQ. It's a soft clipper, also filtering out low end information if you press that button. from 150 Hertz. Low-end side information, I might add, of course. Not all are low-end. You have a mid band, you have a side band, and you have a low band. And the button above here, you can decide how much separation you want between the bands. If you have this linked here to the max, you will affect all bands at the same time. If you have this all the way at minimum, you can single-handedly adjust just the mid band or the side band or the low band. So on this track I have just set it to take the entire bands. I don't differentiate between low, mid and side, at least not on the compression stage. I do it a little bit here on the output, just a little bit. Yeah, that's how I have done it. This just to give it a little bit more polish, a little bit more compression, but it's not much if you look at the gain reduction here. In addition, I also use the soft clipper on the Xmax on this track. It's not using that much, but I think it's giving me about a dB or something like that. We can see if we can see it on the limiter now. If I play on the limiter, you can see on the limiter it has to compress a lot more if I turn off the Xmax here. So it's around -4 dB, something like that on Pro L2, and if I turn it on, the limiter in any part of the track doesn't have to do more than like 3 dBs of gain reduction. So the Xmax helps with that. Take some load off the limiter. I'm also using the tone knob here to give the track some more high end, some sort of analog touch, you know. So if I just turn that off. Let's turn it on again. I'm also increasing the side a little bit here, not that much, just a tiny bit. Yeah, you have the soft clipper there. And just the entire package here. You can just hear the difference when it turns off and when I turn it on. It's like night and day. I can also keep dynamics in my track, and I think it just sounds really good. I don't know if I'm going to invest in the 500 series racks now, but you can get this in this sort of cube for people that don't perhaps have a lot of 500 devices, and you can also get it in a rack mount, and you can also get it like as a card, so you can put it in a 500 series rack. If I have to say a negative thing, it's of course doesn't have recall, so I have to take an image of the settings and store it in my DAW project folder. Not a big deal for me. Take an image, airdrop it, drag it in. But yeah, it would of course be nice to have sort of a plugin that you can control as well. So I don't know. I guess they are working on that. So that's basically my track here. It is finished. I think I have gotten good use of the OB6, the subsequent 37, and the other sort of plugins I use here like Diva, Serum and all of that. And yeah, I think it's fun, and I am on to the next track. If you think stuff like this is interesting, you can subscribe below if you want to support. I have a my own Patreon I run, and I also a channel. You can also be a channel member on YouTube. It's sort of the same thing. You just have to decide what you want to do. You can get access to my music, unreleased music, and maybe other stuff in the months and years coming, and you support what I do. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.